And Dave's like, and it cuts to Sheamus perfectly, where he's like, welcome to the doghouse, fella.
Excuse me. Excuse me. What in the world are you thinking?
Mean Gene, the first thing you need to do is to tell these people to shut up if you want to hear what I gotta say.
What up, y'all? This is KMB, the Sexy Ninja, in the place to be for a Paper Saber universe, and this is the New World Podcast, brother. We're talking about Monday Night Raw on a nice, cloudy, shady day. It rained really hard yesterday here in Flagstaff, Arizona, and that was nice. It cooled down everything a little bit, and it's supposed to be light showers here and there, so I'm like, bring it on. Bring it on. But we're going to talk about Monday Night Raw, July 15, 2024. Cole, Pat on commentary. We're in Dayton, Ohio. We started off with Mommy. Talk about a huge pop, huge reaction. And my wife asked me, she's like, who is the biggest female superstar ever, like to cross both worlds? And I got to say, as is today, I really feel like it's Rhea. You know, as much as I love Becky, as much as I love Charlotte, like I know people who don't watch wrestling. And they come up to me, they're like, yo, who's Mommy? Who's Mommy? You know, and they like, and some people who see her, they're like, oh my God, she's beautiful. I mean, she's a badass too. So we started off with this. She says she's back. She's after that world championship from Liv. Then here comes Dirty Dom, brings in flowers, you know. It really makes me reminisce about the days with Eddie Guerrero in China. And I was just like, and he's got that mustache, the Dom mustache. And he's like, I'm sorry. Then Liv gets on the screen and she's just like, hey, I wanted to take everything away from you, this revenge tour and everything like that. And that included Dom. And, you know, Dom's just there, just like, no, Mommy, I'm so sorry. And the best part about that was the whole outcome of this. The best part about that was the fact that Rhea's like, hey, I'm issuing you a challenge, SummerSlam, me and you, for the Women's World Heavyweight Championship. Liv accepts, and so it's just going to be a matter of time when they bring the card out, make it official. But I was just like, I was hoping for the custody of Dirty Dom, who will leave with Dominic on their arm. Then we have Dom and Rhea backstage, and Dom is he's trying to give her flowers. She throws the flowers away. She goes to the Judgment Day clubhouse, opens the door, bunch of black roses, and she slams the door in Dom's face, and Damien comes and is like, hey, you good? He's like, yeah, I guess, man. And then she opens the door, starts throwing flowers again. Damien's just like, damn, dude. And during all this, we have our first match of the night, Sheamus versus Bronson Reed. And Damien's like, And it cuts to Sheamus perfectly, where he's like, welcome to the doghouse, fella. I mean, this Raw just starts off with a bang, and it doesn't let up. Then we have this awesome match between Sheamus and Bronson, a banger, bro, and Sheamus gets the win. Pete comes out because Bronson tries to attack, but Pete then attacks Sheamus, so Pete has gone to the dark side, and he lets Bronson Reed do the tsunami onto Sheamus, and I was like, okay, so now we're building some tension, some feud between Pete and Sheamus. There's some real good storytelling we can tell there. We can build that all the way to SummerSlam or not, or maybe just keep it on Raw. We had the Judgment Day backstage. Rhea's just like, hey, you know, I'm so happy to be back. It's been so long and stuff like that. But she goes, I just got a question. What the hell's Carlito doing here? And Davey's like, well, that's a long story. And then Dom comes in. He's like, hey. And oh my gosh. Dom. He says, Mommy belongs to me. And then she's like, excuse me? And walks out. And Carlito comes in. He's like, not cool. Not cool. I think Carlito being part of the Judgment Day is great. Even if he's not, even if he, you know, he really adds something here. And JD's head, right when he said that big head, bobblehead boy. Then we have Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov. They got a big match tonight. Intercontinental Championship is on the line. I'm very excited about that. Sami's like, bring it. You know, you've earned the championship. And Ilya's like, well, you do the same. And I was like, damn, dog. Then we have Gunther promo package. We have Jackie with Zelina Vega. Then here comes Sonya. Here comes Zoe. Here comes Shayna. This was from earlier in the week, and this is what sets up our next match of the night. Zelina Vega versus Sonya Deville. Sonya is trying to build this new faction of hers, and I'm loving it. I think it's great. I think that she can keep I don't know. It's something about this group that really it piques my interest. You know, Zoe, Shayna, and her. And I'm like, okay. And she wins the match. Sonya Deville wins a match. And on her first Raw back in a while against Zelina Vega, who's after the championship as well. And, you know, she has beef with Liv. So I'm just like, okay, Sonya, you know, you racked up a win. Let's see what else we can do here. And of course, they start beating down Zelina, and here comes Chance Carter, and Lyra comes out with them as well, you know, setting up this. I was like, don't tie Lyra with Chance and Carter. Those two I'm just not a big fan of yet, you know. And then we have Damian and Dom backstage, and Dom's like, dude, why didn't you tell me that mommy's back? Why didn't you tell me? He's like, dude, why didn't you lie to me? You haven't been talking to her, you know. And she mentions it too earlier. She's like, hey, you know, I didn't hear from you for like 3 months while you're playing with Liv and stuff like that. And Damien's saying the same thing. He's like, dude, you kept telling me you talked to mommy. You guys are good. He's like, why'd you lie to me? And he's like, dude, I'm sorry. And here comes Jay. He goes, yo, Damien, is it true? Is it true? Mommy's single. Yeet. And Damien kind of plays devil's advocate. You know, he's like, hey, Dom, you don't let him talk like that? Talk about mommy like that? And he's like, you should handle business, man. He's like, yeah. I'm gonna go have a match. He goes, and Adam Pearce, and he's like, I'm gonna set up a match with Jey Uso tonight. We get Adam Pearce backstage. Chad is like, I know why they're after me. I know who Uncle Howdy is. It is Bo Dallas. And everyone's like, yeah, dude, yeah. Damian Priest, Gunther face to face. That World Heavyweight Championship match is gonna be crazy. And I will say it now, Gunther is gonna be champ. I feel it. I feel it deep down in my bones. I'm a big fan of Gunther. I think Gunther being a world champion right now would be crazy and dominant and scary. The Ring General. But great back and forth, calling Damian Priest street trash. Holy shit. I was like, damn, dog. But Damian Priest held his own. I'll give him that. He held his own. Then we cut back to Adam and Jay, just basically confirming he's got a match with Dominic Mysterio. Then here comes Braun Breaker. Braun's like, what the fuck, dude? Like, Ilya's got he's got an Intercontinental Championship match. And basically it's like, bro, you lost. But and Adam's like, yo, I know you're going to go cause chaos. I know you're going to do this. I know you're going to go do that. So get out of the building or I'm going to have security. He's like, I know where to go. And he leaves. So we know that's not going to happen, right? Braun Strowman versus Damian Priest after Damian Priest and Gunther have their little back and forth, and Gunther has this big smile on his face because he's like, ha, you gotta face this big son of a bitch, as Mr. Pat McAfee would say. It was a fun match. Damian Priest got the win. I enjoyed that. Then Gunther comes out and he's getting a big old fight, so it makes me more hyped for their match. Maxine, Otis, and Cesaro were like, hey, you know, we'll help him. We've got his back. And then here comes Chad's like, that's what I like to hear. My team has my back. And they're like, we're not talking about you. And here comes Xavier. And then Chad's like, whatever, you know. His feelings a little hurt. Then we have Chance and Carter versus Shayna and Zoe with Sonya and Lyra on the outside. Of course, you know, win or lose, but you know, Shayna and Zoe need to remain dominant. That's all that matters in this, you know, and the fact that they beat the Chance and Carter was really cool because I really want to see where this faction is going to go. The Judgment Day backstage, and you know, he goes to Rhea. He's like, hey Rhea, you know, I'm really sorry, but you know, I'm gonna defend your honor and stuff like that. And she's just like, dude, you're an idiot. And all this backstage stuff has been so fire that it's been amazing. Then we have Adam Pearce. He brings out Drew McIntyre. Drew McIntyre comes out. He's like, hey, you know, give me CM Punk. Adam's teasing it. He's like, I think this crowd wants CM Punk. Do y'all want CM Punk? And everyone's like, yeah, we want CM Punk versus Drew McIntyre. We've been waiting for this. And Adam tells him, like, all you need to do is apologize to these two refs. And freaking David Priest is like, no. And he goes off. He goes crazy. Then he's starting to pick a fight. Then here comes Seth Rollins, and a fight between him and Seth go into it. So I'm like, okay, I'm interested in what we're doing here. Are we gonna have Seth part of Damian Priest and Punk's match? Is Punk really not cleared yet? Like, there's a lot of dynamics going in, and we're not that far off from SummerSlam. So it's August 3rd, not that far off. So I'm interested in what we're doing here and what's gonna happen next week, because CM Punk will return, and Seth is mixed up in all of this because he told CM Punk last week, like, hey, once you're cleared, before you can even say Drew McIntyre, I'm coming after you. Wyatt 6 VHS, Pat McAfee got invaded again, and we had an Eric Rowan promo, and man, this shit's deep, dog. Like, he's like, I lost a brother, and I lost another brother. I fell into a deep, dark hole, and I was saved, all this, and was take this sickness and spread it. And just watching it gave me goosebumps. And I was like, oh man, I'm so invested. I'm so invested. And what happens later on is making me more invested. But we got Dominic Mysterio versus Jey Uso. Of course, Liv comes out. Then, they end up on top of each other. Then Rhea comes out, chases Liv, and causes enough distraction for Dominic Mysterio. Jey Uso gets the win. And yeah. And Dom's trying so hard. Dom is trying so fucking hard to be like, I'm so sorry. And this doesn't help. But we have an Ilya Dragunov package. Then we have Damian backstage again, Rhea. Then Damian leaves, and Rhea goes, I just want to tell you this. You don't own me. I own you. Here's a flower, bitch. But it was a sweet moment. It was a very sweet, sweet moment, especially for those two. And I was like, aw. Then we have Chad. He comes out. He's calling out Bo. Here comes Bo Dallas. No music, no nothing. He's got a Wyatt 6 shirt on. Then the Creed brothers attack him, and they're like, yeah, we got the upper hand. And Bo is just laughing, like his brother. And I was like, oh my God, what's going to happen? And then, lights go out. And here comes the Wyatt 6. And they look so beautiful. And I thought that Bo was going to go on her and change, but I'm glad that he didn't. I think it added more, and Chad and the Creed brothers got out of there, and I'm glad that we got Chad and the Creed brothers finally together. They're wearing suits. We have this new faction between this team and Chad as their leader. I wonder if Ivy's going to be a part of that. But man, just seeing them come out, and then Bo, in front of them, laughing and stuff like that. They're basically saying we're here, and that's just like, oh, the lantern. I got goosebumps. I kind of teared up a little bit, and I know I've had my critical thinking on this whole thing, but it's just, I'm still like, how is this going to transfer in the ring? And I think we're going to get Bo Dallas versus Chad Gable at SummerSlam. I saw that rumor for a bit, but I think this is confirming it more and more. Or Chad Gable and the Creed brothers versus the Wyatt 6 in some crazy match at SummerSlam. Then we get into the Intercontinental Championship match. Sami Zayn versus Ilya Dragunov. You talk about a match. I told my wife, I was like, we get to sit here. They didn't give him a lot of time. It was like a little over 10 minutes. I think like 2 commercial breaks or something like that. But man, Sami Zayn and Ilya Dragunov is my boy, dude. And I hope that when Gunther wins that championship and at Bash at Berlin, it is Ilya Dragunov versus Gunther for that World Heavyweight Championship. I was like, give me. I want it so bad. But of course, we ended in a DQ. Why? Because Braun Breaker came back. You can't get rid of Braun Breaker, causing chaos and stuff like that. Spears galore. So I don't know if we're going to set up another triple threat or we're going to have a rematch between Sami and Braun. But a lot of things are going on in this show, Raw, July 15, 2024, Cole Patton commentary in Dayton, Ohio. A lot going on, a lot to digest, a lot of awesomeness, a lot of laughs, feelings, and everything. Raw has been hitting every single week. So I give this show a solid 5 out of 5. So drop those comments below. Hit that like, hit that subscribe. Tell me what you thought of the show. What did you like? What did you not like? Let's have a good time here. Let's talk about pro wrestling here, folks, and how Monday Raw is just clicking. Banger, 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 bruh. And that's it, okay? Go to my Teats Public store. You can find a link tree in the comments below, and go to KMB, the Sexy Ninja merch. We revamped the T Public store. Lots of old great designs and new designs on the way, especially you can also still get the nWp logo created by Penta X. It helps, it supports whatever, but also too, like and subscribe. That supports as well. So, all right, y'all. And remember that the New World Podcast is for life.
Rhea, no te hagas la dura que estás sufriendo.